Welcome to the Graybeard Chronicles podcast. Your hosts, Brian Halstead and Kevin Harkins, are two gray-bearded patriots who love God, their family and friends, and their country. The Graybeards are here to inspire, inform, and educate you on a myriad of topics they are passionate about. Brian and Kevin have a strong desire to share this with you to help you live your best life. Sit back and enjoy this amazing podcast as the Graybeards pass along the wisdom of the ages.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. I'm Brian Halstead.
And I'm Kevin Harkins.
And Kevin, we're here to pass along some wisdom of the ages. What the heck does that mean?
We're not perfect, but we do have gray beards. And that means we've got some significant life experience, some life lessons, and some perspectives that are worthy of passing along.
Well, I think that sums it up nicely. Let's get to it. Kevin, happy after Christmas. How the heck are you?
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Yes, same to you.
Let's get to it. Let's get
Amen.
to it.
It's a nice little phrase, right?
It
Cheers
is.
to you.
Cheers to you as well.
What is going on, man? Did you have a good Christmas?
Had a wonderful Christmas.
Outstanding.
Yeah, just went over to my daughter and her husband's house and hung out by the fire pit. I'm not kidding you. For between Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, it was probably 8 hours.
Nice.
Sitting by the fire.
Well, the weather was beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
It was like we had a South Georgia or Southern North Carolina kind of Christmas because we're not used to having those temperatures here.
Yeah, it was
that
nice.
time of year. So yeah, it's beautiful.
It was beautiful. Yeah, but it was slow and easy. And just hung out and ate and drank and enjoyed it.
That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yep.
Eat, drink, and be merry.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah. Good.
It's a pretty nice looking pipe you got going on there today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That one's a little more square and a little more shiny than I'm used to.
Yeah, I've smoked this one a few times on the podcast. It's a little Rattrey's.
Oh, okay.
I forget the model number, but
I guess I just wasn't paying attention.
You got to bring yours, man.
I will. I
right.
will. But I don't do it nearly as much as you do. And it's hard for me to talk and do that at the same time. You've sort of perfected the art.
Well, it turns out it's hard for me, too. I just end up having to relight a whole bunch. That's all right. Nothing wrong with relighting.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, almost.
You ready?
I am ready.
Ready for New Year?
Yeah, got all my New Year's resolutions made out. Got a whole list of, that's bullshit.
I'm going to say I'm not buying what you're selling.
Yeah, good, because I'm not selling it.
Because you ain't.
I'm not a
You're
not a big
you're
fan.
not a resolutioner?
Nope.
Man, you saying that with conviction.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in doing that.
Live it every day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I do take the time to examine my goals this time of year.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's time well spent.
right.
Just the whole New Year's resolution craze that,
Yeah.
people raid the gyms and now I'm gonna start working out and yada yada yada. And that's cool, providing you stick with it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, what ends up happening is people just screw the schedule up for everybody else and clog the gyms up for 3 or 4 weeks, and maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Might only be 2,
Right.
and then it gets back to normal again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be all bad for a while.
Yeah.
But that's when a lot of gyms make their money. So good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get the contracts locked in for however long, and
That's it.
yeah.
People just end up, well, sort of most people. Speaking of all that, that's a good segue into what we're talking about tonight. What are we talking about tonight?
Well, it was a topic that it was your turn to pick, and you picked a doozy. I'm interested to see where the conversation goes on this. And I'm interested to see your reaction to my response on where this conversation is going.
Okay, it's going to be a good one. He kind of warned me beforehand that he wasn't sure if I was going to come at it the same way as he did. All right, so I'm going to introduce the topic, and you are then going to reveal
All right.
what your I'll introduce the topic and I'll talk about why.
Got to get this damn pipe lit first.
All right. So tonight's topic is, what do you have to show for your years? What is it? What is it that you have to show? This is a good time of year. Any time's a good time of year, but for me and for a lot of people, as we tend to slow down a little bit in our professional lives and take some time for ourselves, to take the opportunity to just sort of reflect a little bit. The title of the topic is bigger than just this year. It's basically what I intended when I started was your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I took it. Years,
Right.
plural,
Right.
is, since you've been here walking the planet in this physical form.
Right. But the concept of taking the time to look back and sort of examine, because we have some time left. We were both blessed this morning when we woke up with another day, and Lord willing, we'll wake up tomorrow morning and keep going for a while. And we may not. Who knows? You just never know for sure. But as long as we have those days, the question that I'm posing to you and to everyone is, what do you have to show for it? What are you doing? What are you up to? How are you spending your time?
So those are a bunch of different questions.
Yeah, kind of all getting at the same thing. So
Right.
I think anyway.
So I'll answer the first question that you had first is, what do you have to show for your years?
Right.
And my answer to that is nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Didn't see that coming.
But that's the truth. I have absolutely nothing, and you could argue maybe a couple of things, but I have absolutely nothing to show for the years that I've been on this planet.
I'm not tracking with you, so you're going to have to explain this.
All right, so time alone will net you nothing. You've got to have some action. You've got to have some, before that, you've got to have some intention. You've got to have things happening in order to produce stuff, right? So the mere time of being here for however many years you've been here means nothing unless you have some goals that you're shooting for, some intention to do certain things, and then the action associated with getting them done to make things happen. Now, and it's a bit of a trick answer, right? Because it really is what I have to show for my years. Nothing. You arguably maybe some gray hairs and lack thereof of hairs on my head. But I would also, I would potentially argue that some of that comes from a life well lived too, right? So these gray hairs didn't get here by accident. Some of them even came on at an early age, and I probably could name a couple of them, by people I was associating with at the time. But I just don't. So yeah, it's a little bit of a play on words there, but I think you got to have the action and everything else that goes with it, and then I can have the conversation about the things that I have to show for the not just the time I've been here, but the things that I've had the intent to accomplish and where I've focused my energies and so on. And that's a whole different conversation.
Okay.
Kevin's like, you're just being a smart ass.
No, I'm still, for some reason, I'm not, I don't know why, but I'm not exactly tracking with you. So you said, I don't have anything to show for my years.
Right.
And that is because...
Well, I don't have anything to show just because I've been on this planet for 55 plus years. Right? Now, I have plenty of things to show that I've accomplished during this 55 plus years.
Okay.
Because of intent
Okay.
and action and execution, so on.
Okay.
But just the fact that I've been here for that 55 plus years didn't net me anything, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay.
And but that's just the way it clicks in my head.
All right.
Sorry if that's fucking you up.
Okay. No, I just, I think certainly, clearly, the way that I was approaching it was, you have existed on this earth for 55 plus years, and your life has had some impact somewhere on somebody and something.
Yeah, no argument there.
And so, actually, you remind me of It's a Wonderful Life, the movie. George didn't think his life had any impact on anything, and yet he found out that it did have lots of impact on lots of people.
Right.
And
that's a different question.
Wouldn't you say?
And that would net a different answer, right? And I translate that into a different question.
Okay. All right.
But again, yes, I feel like I've accomplished many things, and had an impact in a lot of different areas, but not just because I was, living that timeline of, however many years I've been here.
Okay.
I guess a way to think of it, the flip side of it is, if we decided to sit in this chair for 5 years, what's going to happen?
I get your point. Your point is you have to live with intention.
And you have to have some action associated with it, and live deliberately to make shit happen.
Okay, I got it. Thank you for that last little piece. That's the one that pushed me over the edge to.
Yeah.
I got it. Well, that's it. It's a very good point that you make, and the very good point is, I think there's a whole bunch of people, probably everyone at one point or another in their life, don't take the time to think about why am I here? What impact am I having?
Right.
What value am I adding to the world, to my family, to what am I doing? What do I have to show for it?
Yeah.
And of course, as soon as you say what do I have to show for it, many people will be very proud of many of the things that they have to show for it, and that is awesome. I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of my spouse. I'm proud of my kids.
Yep.
I'm proud of what I've done in my life professionally. I'm proud of the legacy that I can hand on to my family to go on for generations. I'm proud of the money that I can pass to my next of kin and my next generational ancestors and so on.
Right.
I mean, there's lots of stuff that people can say, that's what I have to show for it.
Right.
And I think that's good. And I think that we should celebrate that stuff.
Yeah.
I think you should take the time to think, okay. But I also don't want to stop there, because if you want to live a life of continuous improvement and keep getting better at what you do, there might be some things, and this does not apply to everybody, there might be some things that you're doing that are causing you to, I don't want to say not be proud, but it could be the case, but it might be you're just sort of drifting. How are you spending your time?
Or experiencing struggles that are of your own making.
Right.
Or at least within your power to change or solve.
Right.
Because I'm with you. There's lots of things that I've done that I'm proud of. There's, as far as a career goes and so on, plenty of things there. But for me, the biggest thing is, my faith, my family, my friends, all. In fact, no material things make this list for me at all, right? So other than, having a safe place to live and have shelter, that need, right? It's all about, family and, those grandbabies,
right,
that we're gonna, be adding another one to the crew here before too long.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's that's it, and I absolutely. It's funny because I shared my answer with Julie the other day.
Yeah.
We were. It might have been earlier today, but
right.
And she looked at me kind of like you did, like,
right.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
What do you mean you don't have shit to show for it?
Right.
She didn't say that out loud, but
right.
that's the look she gave me.
Right.
And again, I feel like it's a little bit of a trick answer,
right.
but it's I mean, all of those things happened because I and potentially others, right? And certainly in the case of the grandchildren, I had a partner involved in that, right? But we had kids, and now they've had kids, and I tell you, if I didn't have anything else, man, that would be enough. And I am still incredibly grateful for all the other, relationships that I have, friends, brothers. The opportunity to do this,
right?
The things that I've been able to do in my career,
right.
the ability to just walk away from a career that I thought was only going to be the only thing I ever did in my life, and say, you know what, my peace of mind, my well-being, and my family takes priority over this.
Right.
I've got to figure out how to do it differently, so that I can keep those things intact.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of being able to do that and appreciate all the folks that helped me along the way there.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's tons of things to be, proud of.
Right.
During that chunk of time that I've been here.
And there you go.
But yeah, none of it happened by
right,
osmosis.
That's right. And I think it's great to take the time to think about that, and like I said, celebrate that. But I also wanted to take the time, and here's an overwhelming thought that I've had the last couple days. So you said you've been here 55 plus years. I've been here 59 plus years. There's something about this milestone of reaching 60, which just causes you to stop and reflect a little bit. And so I'm doing that. And
I'll let you know when I get there.
Yeah. It's going to be a while for you.
Yeah.
And so you start thinking about, well, there are, and this I see around me everywhere. People my age, of my generation, my friends, my family, people are starting to want to slow down and just sort of fade away is not the right word, but in some respects, yeah, they're wanting to, and I think that a lot of people, and I will not name, it's not in my family, but there's other folks that I know, they just sort of become lost. They just sort of drift. You know, they maybe are working full time, maybe not, maybe part time, maybe they're fully retired, but they just don't really know what to do with themselves.
Yeah.
And there's so much
They lose
time.
their purpose.
There's so much
or
time.
a purpose.
Yeah. If you have been given this gift of another day on this earth, God ain't done with you. And you have the opportunity to go do something else or serve some purpose or add value or volunteer or produce something that you can look back and go, I'm still proud of those things that I have to show for my years, rather than just sort of fading away. And some people don't want that, or it's not important to them, and that's fine. That's fine, but that's not me. And I'm constantly wanting to figure out how to improve what I do with each and every day, so that I'm not just kind of going through the motions and drifting through every day.
Yeah, I think, there's an interesting mindset out there, and we've touched on this before about, just focusing on being a better human being every day,
Right.
being a better person than you were the day before. And it doesn't have to be leaps and bounds better.
Right.
It can be just incremental changes day by day. And you look back a year from now, 5 years from now, man, what a huge change. And, even if you are, one of those folks that's fortunate enough to be in a role where you're retired and you don't feel like you're making a positive contribution or a huge contribution in the lives of other people. Maybe you're struggling a little bit with a purpose. Kevin mentioned something about volunteering. That's a beautiful thing, man. There's all kinds of folks out there that are going through life and dealing with struggles that you may have experienced yourself and figured a way out of. And you might have an opportunity to mentor somebody through some kind of challenge that they're dealing with in their life. So the fact that you've made it as far in life as you have and accomplished the things that you have had to, or you've been able to accomplish, share that stuff. It didn't happen by osmosis, and you've got secrets or potentially wisdom that you've acquired that you can share with other people. And don't be stingy with that shit.
Couple quotes to further emphasize the point. One of which I love, and I've heard several times. I heard it years ago, and I loved it. The first is, it's not so much the years of life, it's the life in your years. That's a good way to sort of think about it. And that's just the quick and dirty. But this is the one I love, written by a guy named Hunter Thompson many years ago. Life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, "Wow, what a ride."
That's exactly right.
Yeah, you've heard that.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Folks in the audience were waiting for that.
Live
quote.
by it.
Yeah, that's
live
right.
by it. Know it, love it, live by it.
There you go. Yeah. So for me, it's about taking the time. This topic was about taking the time to reflect about what you have to show for your years. Celebrate the good things that you are proud of and that you do have positive things to show. But if there are things that you're up to that you're not necessarily proud of, or that you think might be a waste of time, man, I am just wasting time doing this, whatever this is. I don't
stop.
Social media, TV, sitting on the couch eating bonbons, whatever it is. If it's just wasting time, passing time, take the time to think about, maybe there's something different or better in terms of the continuous improvement. Maybe there's something different, better that I can do with my life, that I can do with my time, that I can do in my community, so that you can continue to build that body of work and knowledge and evidence that at the end of your time, you can say, this is what I have to show for my years.
Yeah.
There you go.
And, have that thirst for knowledge, man. Be that lifelong learner and figure out, new things. Expand your knowledge on things that you already have, information on. And it's just, never stop learning.
Right.
And never stop giving. I think, for me, in addition to focusing on well-being, I think clarity is a big thing too, right? Having, knowing who you are, knowing yourself, knowing what drives you, knowing, what to stay away from, what not to get involved in, knowing what your own personal triggers are, or learning how to get rid of your triggers altogether so you don't have any. There's a huge sense of accomplishment in just, becoming a master of you and being the best person that you can possibly be and continuing to work on yourself.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And, the stuff that we talk about on our podcast now, everything is connected to everything else. It's all sort of dipping into the pool.
It's all intertwined, right? Yep.
And I was actually having the conversation just the day before yesterday with my son-in-law and his brother, talking about the 1,000% rule. If you improve 1/10 of 1% 5 days a week, 10 years from now, you'll be 1,000% better because of the compound effect. I thought of it because you mentioned continuous improvement.
Yeah.
What do you have to show for your years? Well, what you have to show is that you made the investment to learn more, to grow more, to advance and expand and step out just a little bit at a time, but consistently do it. And a decade later, oh my, how far you've come. I love that.
And you've probably got some gray hairs and you got some scars, and they could be, physical, visible scars. They could be emotional scars. Chances are the life that you've lived has created many things for you,
right?
Because of what you set out to do and what you got yourself involved in. But it's all of your own doing, and it wasn't just because time was ticking away. It was because you were making decisions to live your life.
Yep. That's it. That's what I wanted to. That's what I want to say.
That's very
What
cool.
do we?
Good topic, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you picking this, and sorry if I fucked you up a little bit there to begin with.
No.
Like, oh damn it!
Sometimes I'm just a little slow. That's
right?
all.
Yeah. No, he's like, no. Sometimes I just don't know what the hell you're thinking.
No, you're right. We just sit here like a bump on a log. If we just drift, that's your point.
Yep.
If we just sit here and do nothing, then we don't have a lot to show, be proud of. We got to do something. We got to live with intention.
Absolutely.
Amen, brother.
Get shit done.
That's right. So.
And have fun doing it.
Yeah.
There's another way of saying that, though, right? That have fun doing it.
Enjoy the ride. Oh man, aren't you freaking?
Yeah,
you're fancy.
there is another way.
Yes.
And it goes like this. No matter who you are, where you are, what you're doing, make sure between this podcast and the next, you take time to enjoy the ride.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. Please subscribe so you'll receive notification when new episodes are available. To learn more about the Graybeards, visit their website, graybeardchronicles.com.